Okay, I believe this is working now. So good afternoon, or well, probably good evening now, rather, everybody. So I've already given you out all of the tasks for the first assignment, so you have all you need to get. Well, hopefully you should have all you need to get to whatever level you need to. But a couple of people have asked me about doing a bit of a walkthrough for Task 8, and that's what I plan on doing today. So I've got this screen sharing software. I've tested it a wee bit, so hopefully it should work okay. But so I'm just going to pretty much walk through the Task 8 notes, and you can, if you haven't done Task 8 already, you can work along with me. Or if you've done it already and you're sitting there with nothing better to do, you can just watch it anyway, whatever you want. If you've done Task 8 and you've no interest, you don't need to be here for this. This is all I'm going to do today. Well, I'll do this for 20-30 minutes, then I'll spend the rest of the class getting back to your emails. So if you've emailed me and I haven't got back to you yet, I will do that shortly. But I'll get through this first anyway. So if you open up the Task 8 notes, after you pass the installation parts, you'll see the part where it's telling you to make a new project. So whenever you first open Easy Builder Pro, that will come up for you, but I've already closed that, so I can just go to File, New, and then you'll get a list of different HMIs you can pick from. So what I'm going for is the CMT3151 with a resolution of 1024 by 768, and you want that in landscape. So whenever you've selected that, just press OK. So once you've done that, you'll have a window coming up with your system parameter settings. So this is just going to show you what you have on your network. So that'll be your HMI, which you've just added to it there. So what we need to add is the PLC. So we need to add a new device/server. It'll come up with a default name of Modbus TCP/IP. So that's the type of communication we're going to be using. You see there? But I'm going to give it a more appropriate name like Formula Z Production PLC. You see you can change the IP address and whatever. It won't really matter for this purposes, but if you were actually building it, you would need to ensure that your IP range of your PLC and your HMI are both within the first 3 sets of numbers should be the same, so that they're in the same range, so that they can communicate with each other properly. But I'll leave that as default for now anyway. It doesn't really matter for this purpose. So once you've done that, just press OK. And you'll be looking at a... Oh, sorry, my dog's just walked in. Let me kick her out here. Apologies, that's her away. Okay, so you've got the blank window here. So if you look back on the notes, the first thing I talk about putting in is the push button. So the push button is represented here by a grey rectangle with some symbols above it. So if you click that, a window will come up saying new set-bit object. So you'll see under the write address, you'll have device. So you can pick between the local HMI and the PLC. So you want to keep it on the PLC. And with your address, what you're doing is you're like referring to a space of memory within the PLC. So if you look at the address list I provided, there's a link to it on the bottom of slide 8 of task 8. So you see I have set the Formula A pump 1. Sorry, I'll bring that on screen here. Formula A pump 1 run is 4x 200. That should actually say 4x bit 200. I'll maybe change that. but 4x bit 200. And you want to make that as, well, I'm going to make this as momentary because I'm taking it for granted that all your like latching of setting things on and setting things off will be done within the PLC. So that's how I reckon it should be done. But what momentary means is just that that is only active for as long as you're holding it for. Otherwise, you could have like set on, so if you press it, that'll be on until you specify otherwise. Or you could have toggle where it's just swapping between one or the other state. But momentary is what we're going to go for here. So if you go into the shape tab, you can change whatever you want your button to look like. So if you click the picture library, you've got several different options. There's a pile of drop boxes you could be using here. But I'm going to keep it rather simple and use, say, this button here. Actually, I can change the color of this. Can you do that with everyone? Okay, say I'll use this button, and I want it to be green for start. So if you want to put a label on it, you can go into the label window, tick use label, and say you want it to say start. Type that in there, press OK. Then you'll have like a outline of the shape you're going to be putting in. Just click there, it'll place it in. I'm going to reduce the font size on that because that is quite large. That'll do. Okay, so I need to turn that back on. So now you can see that that start button is addressed to 4x-bit-200. So if this is hooked up to the PLC, you press that and Formula A Pump 1 should begin to run. So you also have Formula A Pump 2 run, Formula B Pump 1 run, and Formula B Pump 2 run as well. And they are 202, 204, and 206. So to make your life easy, you can copy and paste that a couple times. Change the address to 22, change that one to 204, and change that one to 206. So that one should start Formula A Pump 2, that one should start Formula 2 Pump A, or I'm confusing my letters and numbers here, but you get the idea anyway. So you can do the same thing with a stop button as well. So if you want to copy and paste the start button as well, change that to 201, I believe it's addressed to. Formula Pump 1 stop, it's 201, yeah. So I'll go in here, change the label to say stop, go back into shape, change the color to red, more appropriate for a stop button. Then I can copy and paste that across for each of them. Don't forget to change your addresses, so it's going to go up in twos again. So it'll be 203, 205, and a 207. Check my addresses, make sure I'm telling you the right thing here. Yep, that all lines up. Okay, and that's all your start and stop buttons for the pumps. So it's handy enough. You can get away with a lot of copy and pasting in this. So what have I got next on your notes? Bit lamp. Okay, so on my screen I have put in a bit lamp to show you the running signal for each of the pumps. So if you go into Object, you can click bit lamp here, or if you're in Home, you can go into the Object window and click the one that looks like a light bulb. So our first one here is going to be compound A pump 1 running feedback signal, and the address for that is 4x bit 700. And you can change what that looks like again. Oh, you can see what it'll look like in each state. So if that is off, it'll be an unlit green bulb, and if it's on, it'll be a lit green bulb. And that is up to your discretion, whatever you want it to be. I've changed that one there so that it's red when it's off and it's green when it's on. Just because that makes sense to me. So I'll press OK there. So, yep, it's addressed 4x bit 700, and now you have a lamp that will turn green whenever pump 1 is running. Sorry, pump 1 from compound A is running. There's a way to see. You can see through here what it will look like whenever it's turned on anyway, but I've already talked about that. So you might notice here that it's a wee bit skew with here. It doesn't perfectly line up. A handy tool you can use is one that will align everything. So say this one here, you can highlight everything that you want to be lined up with each other, and go to this button here, align horizontal center. You click that and it'll bring them all in line with each other. So like the previous things, I'm going to copy and paste that a bunch. So I believe the addresses are 701, 702, 703. Yep. So I'll just go through them and change. It is very easy to make a mistake when you're copy and pasting, so double check that you've got the right address after you've finished. Okay, so again, these are all a wee bit skew with again, so I'll highlight them, align, and that's a bit better looking. Okay, so what have I got next on the notes here for you? Numeric objects. Okay, so the numeric objects looks like the grey rectangle with the 999 written above it. And we're using numeric objects to display things like the flow since last time the duty was swapped on the pumps, and the flow since last time it had been manually reset. So I've included that as something for like maintenance purposes. So if somebody has taken a pump offline to perform maintenance on it, or the pump's been replaced, they can then press that reset button and it starts that counter over again from scratch. So the address for the first one here is compound A flow, which is 4x3. And it's not bit this time because it's a different type of data. All the things we've done so far are digital signals. They're binary, they're either on or off, so they take up only one bit of memory. The analog signals will be larger, so I'm giving them a byte. Sorry, a whole word, because they're 16-bit. So it being 16-bit means that it takes up 2 whole bytes, which is why I'm starting at 4x3 here. Okay, so first one 4x3. Then I'm not going to worry too much about what it looks like right now, but as with everything else, you can change what it looks like on the shape. So I'm going to copy and paste that a few times as well, since we have we have 6 of these, 1 for compound A, or 3 for compound A and 3 for compound B. So 4x3, yep, they go up in 2s. So 4x5, 4x7, 9, 11, and 13. That's okay. So if I make this smaller, so you can see them both at the same time here. So 4x. Come on. So your 4x3 will be compound A flow, 4x5 will be compound B flow, 4x7 will be compound A leaders and Studi swap, 4x9 will be compound B leaders and Studi swap, 4x9 will be compound A leaders and reset, and 4x13 will be compound B leaders and reset. So because of the way I've done this, these are all over the place, so they shouldn't be like that. So 4x7 should be here, 4x11 should be here. And that's just separating them up into the one for compound A and compound B. So as they're unlabeled at the minute, it'll be quite hard to tell what they are, but the next thing I'm coming on to here is text boxes. And we'll label them up so they make a bit more sense. So don't need addresses for this. So address boxes are very simple. You don't need any addresses for them. You're just typing in what you want it to say. So say I want it to say compound A. Then just click where you want it to be. And since compound B is very close to that, I'm going to be lazy and copy and paste that again. Okay, lovely. Right, as you can probably tell, everything has just been thrown onto the page here. There is no order to what's going on here. But we'll get round to printing it up later. But I'm just going to keep firing in a few more text boxes and then I'll line them all up and make it look a wee bit better. So, compound A. Well, I'll move these all over to the side. And bring in another text box for... Sorry, what have I done here? Okay, it's just taking the last thing I wrote as the default here. So say I wanted to say pump 1. Put that here. Copy and paste it over here. Copy and paste it over here. Change it to pump 2. Do the same over here. Okay, I would probably like those to be underneath that, to be honest. Not that it really matters, but that's my personal preference and it's my design. So. Also, you can highlight groups of things at the same time and drag them away. It keeps them from getting messy. Another thing in terms of arrangement you can do is to space them all out evenly. So you can see here that this light is very close to that stop button, but there's a fair bit of a gap between there and up here. So I could highlight all 4 of them, click this button, which is space even down, and then do that for all of them. There we go, quick and easy, nicely spaced out. Okay, then I'll take another text box and say manual control. And will do for our manual control for compounds A, pump 1, and pump 2. Okay, so I think maybe the last type of button I asked you to make is a toggle switch. So the toggle switch looks literally just like a light switch here. So if you click that and put in an address such as, where are we? Compound A pump duty switch is 4x bit 210. Okay, that's vertical. I don't like that. I feel like that they should be horizontal. So I'm going to go into picture library and look for something that looks a wee bit better. Yeah, that'll do. And I'll label them properly to say 1 and 2 on either side of them. And I will make them sit nice in line with each other. Then I will copy and paste that over to the other side here. And that doesn't sit in line with that, so that would annoy me, so I will center them as well. Then, since I copy and pasted that, I'll need to change the address, which will be compound B, pump duty switch, 4x bit 211. Okay, now if you press that switch, it will swap the duty between compound A's pump 1 and pump 2, or compound B's pump 1 and pump 2 for there. And you'll see that is a little bit out of sorts of that, so I'm going to center that. Did it the wrong way. It matters which one you click first if you're doing that. There we go. So I'm gonna get another wee text box and just say pump control. And I'll stick that in there. There we go. Okay, so that's most of your, well, that's pretty much all of your functionality for it now. So now I'm just gonna try and line it up a wee bit better. That looks about right to me. Okay, so I'll label up these other numeric objects here. But first I'm going to group up these so you can highlight everything and put it into a group, which counts them all as one object, and then you can make the whole thing smaller. If you've taken up a bit too much space on it, then you can ungroup it again and make them all individual objects again. So I'm just going to add in labels for each of these, so I'll be needing them again. I'm not going to bother with both of them because it's going to be compound A and compound B anyway. I will center them with each other. I will make them nice and evenly spaced out with each other. Okay, so liters per second. Liters since GD swap. Okay, I'm going to break this into second line. And then liters since reset. I'm going to drag this all over here a wee bit. Where is this button that I just clicked? There it is. Okay, oh, there's one more thing. One more button, which is the reset for that later since last reset. So the address for that is 4xbit208. And that has taken the last thing that I've used as a basis. So I'm going to need to go into shape, picture library, and I'm going to pick a square button and I'm going to make it a lovely, I don't know, yellow. Why not? I need to change the text to reset. I'll make it all caps. Change the address to 209 for the compound B reset. Okay, so that's pretty much everything you need to have on your HMI. If there's other things you can do, like if you want to change the background, you can right click, go and do attribute, change your background color, so you want to make it nice healthy grey, why not? Maybe Joe or one of your other tutors has talked to you before about HMI best practices. They recommend using soft pastel colors, which is fair enough, but I have never seen one in industry that isn't just black, white, or maybe a nice blue. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. So another thing you can do is, say you want to group them up, you can make a rectangle, or any sort of shape really. Sorry, did I click the wrong thing there? No, I didn't. Okay, so I will say I want to make a, what colors? Say I want to make a blue box. I can make the inner of this rectangle blue. I can click it, drag it out to cover all of that stuff. And it's, as you can see, obscuring it. So if that happens, you want to go to this button here with the 3 squares on it and click move to back. That'll stop it from obscuring anything. I'll give this a title, sure. Just eat up a bit more space. And I'll make another box over here. I don't know, what's another color? Make it a nice pea green. Center of the back. And there you go. finally, I'll give it a title on the top. DG Chemicals Formula Z Production. Stick it in a big font. Lovely. Okay, so I know this is sort of a not amazing looking design by any stretch of imagination. Generally, you would spend a lot more time working on one of these if you were doing it for your job. I would usually spend a few days working on one myself, but that was maybe half an hour while explaining what I'm doing. So you can get the functionality there quick enough, but you can also spend a lot of time trying to make it look nice, which I do not have the time to do, but maybe some other time. Anyway, I'll give a quick check of the Q&A here, see if anyone has been asking me anything while I've been doing this. I have several emails from all of you that I will get back to very shortly. Right. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it there in terms of the stream anyway, so I'm gonna go get back to your emails now. So, all the best and good luck.